The devs of Marvel Strike Force Scopely has just been sold in a huge new deal. What does this mean for Marvel Strike Force players? We also got an interesting new 2023 blog post with some nice changes coming. And there's a new player movement in Marvel Strike Force. We're talking about all of these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I'm joined by my brother prplestiky. And if you're ready for it, brother Purple, let them know what they should do.
Let's go smash it.
Yeah.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Marvel Strike Force players. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel and this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week. It's a longer video, and this week seems like it's gonna be a lot longer than usual. There are timestamps down below. And welcome, brother prplestiky in the studio. How are you, my friend?
It's great to be here in the studio live with you, Valley. It's fantastic.
Love it. I love it.
I'm doing great,
waiting
man.
for this.
Yeah,
right.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, brother.
Now, I wasn't expecting this to be as huge of a news week this week. We have a MSF Player Movement. It is another one. This one looks to be a lot better than the next one or the previous ones we've had. Scopely was sold, and then something that I was not expecting. And we have a huge new 2023 blog post with a lot of good changes here. Now, if this is your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. Usually there's a lot more. But before we get into all the huge news, Purple, are you ready for the weekly Hoard watch?
Absolutely, always.
All right.
Stay
I hope you got your hoarding all set, because this is what you need to hoard this week. Thanks to brother Benny Westside. So all this green stuff is stuff that you should be spending right now. Your alliance credits, your war credits, your campaign energy, your ISO 8 campaign energy, and opening your gold orbs. These are the things that you should be using right now. But what you should be hoarding right now is the blitz charges, your power cores, and your training orbs. Now, the blitz charges are for an event coming up on the 8th, so in a couple days. The power cores also for an event on the 8th, and the training orbs for a data mine event coming up on the 13th. Are you hoarding all of this stuff here?
I hoard everything always, 100% of the time.
All right, so that is a good thing with Marvel Strike Force.
That's the way to do it. I mean,
all right, so now you guys know what to hoard. Let's get into the big news. Saudi backed Savvy Games to buy Scopely for $4.9 billion. This is an article from Axios, and what it says, why this matters? Well, Savvy will pay $4.9 billion, making one of the largest ever gaming acquisitions. Saudi Arabia last year said it would invest $38 billion in the gaming sector, including $13 billion earmarked for gaming studios acquisitions, $18 billion for minority investments. So they've already spent almost $5 billion on Scopely here. Over the past 15 months, Savvy has also invested another $1 billion into Swedish gaming group Embracer, and the Sovereign Wealth Fund has taken increased minority stakes in Nintendo, EA, and Take-Two. So not only do they own Scopely now, or will own Scopely very soon, they're also owning minority stakes in Nintendo, EA, Take-Two, Interactive. What does this all mean for you? Is Saudi Arabia now dominating gaming?
I mean, it sounds like that's what they're trying to do, right? Diversify. So yeah, what does it mean for me? Honestly, not much, because I'm already not spending. This doesn't influence, my decision to spend or not spend at all. Whether it's going to be a net positive or a net negative remains to be seen. Maybe now Scopely has more access to enhanced Q&A and a bigger QA team, things like that. Maybe, this parent company decides they're not making enough money and things get worse as far as offers. Like, that's totally possible. So for me, though, it's kind of a whole lot of nothing until we know more. I just don't feel like we have enough information on that.
Well, here's the two things that when Fox X was sold to Disney and eventually Scopely, players that think this was going to happen, they're trying to milk the players for as much as they can, which is why we had some of these crazy offers the past week, because they're trying to up the sale price. Instead of that 3.1 or something that was valued before, or a 2020 investment of 3.4 billion, they sold it for almost 5. So maybe we'll get less of these offers, or maybe this new Savvy sees all the crazy spending that's been done on Marvel Strike Force, and they say, hey, let's increase that and up that. I hope it's not that. I hope it's like, all right, now we've got the sale. Now we can bring this back to baseline and make our community happy. All right, between the lines, Savvy emerged in January 22 via public investment funds, 1.5 billion purchase of 2 esports firm. The board is chaired by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam. Savvy's CEO Brian Ward last year told Axios that a big part of the mandate is develop gaming in Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, and Africa, but a scope of it is more generally global. However, has faced accusations that is an effort to distract from the kingdom's human rights effort. Does this make any difference for you, Prplestiky?
I am already not spending, so I can't spend any less. Could you get
refunds for your if you to make it into the negative?
I don't know. I am curious. You know, they brought up, like, obviously Saudi Arabia has some issues. You know, I don't think that's news to anyone that, you know, and they brought it up right there in the article, right? So I'm curious if the thought of, like, potentially supporting the Saudi Arabian government might influence some spending by our player base. You know, they don't want to support that, which is totally a valid, position to hold. So I'm curious, you know, if you guys want to leave some comments and let us know, like, is this going to influence future spending for you? I'm very curious to see what people's takes are on that.
Yeah, let me know what you're going to do, if it's going to change one way or the other. Now, for myself, I'm a content creator, so I kind of have to spend on the game to make content. So I don't think it's going to change anything for me, but let me know in the comments. Is this going to change anything for you now that Scopely is being bought by Savvy? Now, this was an article from the Scopely website that you pointed out to me and highlighted this one part here. Scopely will now become an autonomous operating company under the Savvy umbrella. What does this mean for you? I think you were saying earlier that the people saying, oh, this is awesome. They could do whatever they want, but you had a little different take on this. What was your take on this, Purple?
Yeah, so the way this reads and the way they want us to feel is, don't worry, the game is still going to be the game you love. We're going to let, you know, Scopely's going to have creative freedom. We're going to be able to do whatever they want. I do want people to understand that this is not a legally binding statement, right? This is a press release. What this means, if you read between the lines, is we're going to let Scopely just go ahead and handle the game and do the thing that they're going to do and keep a successful game, and they can do the thing. We're going to be hands off. That stops the moment you're not hitting whatever revenue marker that they're looking for, right? You better believe, I'm just saying, I'm not saying, you know, I can't predict the future, but you better believe if they're not hitting whatever revenue goals that Savvy's setting, that they will in a heartbeat step in and strongly influence changes in monetization, things like that. So just keep that in mind. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, don't think for a second that Scopely is just creative freedom and they can do whatever they want. It's on them. It's Savvy's hands off. No way. You don't buy something at $5 billion and then not pay attention to the money it's bringing in for you. You better believe they'll put the pressure on if they need to. We'll see what happens, though.
They spent a lot for Scopely. They are expecting a big return on this. Now, one of the things, we did get an announcement that Dark Dimension 6 is coming this week before we got this announcement. Now, one of the theories from the Valley Club this morning is maybe they spent this $4.9 billion so they wouldn't have to spend as much to get into Dark Dimension 6. How much do you think that theory holds water?
Yeah, maybe. I imagine if you want to be the first person to complete Dark Dimension 6, it's probably going to cost you about $4.9 billion. Is
Savvy Games actually Tadalo Mac in disguise? Is that what's really happening here?
I like that theory. That's a theory I can get behind.
I'm not sure if it holds water. Let me know your thoughts on that theory in the comments, guys. But let's move on because we have a new MSF Player's Voice announcement. We've had a few of these in the past when things have gotten rough in the game, and I think we've been past that rough spot. I think when they gave all that compensation from a couple weeks ago, I think the game made a big turn. But we still have this movement going on because that is not good enough. Now, we've had a lot of movements in the past to try to get some change in Marvel Strike Force with varying degrees of success. What do you think is different about this time?
Yeah, so, I mean, it seems like, first and foremost, it seems like the people that are running this really do care and want to see the game move forward in a good way. And I don't get the sense from this that this is just geared towards spenders or anything like that. It seems to be inclusive of free to play and spenders, and we need each other, right? Like this game doesn't work unless we have both groups. Like we're all on the same side. So I appreciate that. It seems more organized. I know they have a Discord server now with going on 2,000 people, and it's a place where you can voice your opinion. And you know, not everyone's going to agree on everything, but I think they were pretty clear. Like, hey, we're opening to varying points of view. We need to be realistic about what we're going to accomplish. Even small wins are still wins. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is organizing a group of players that love this game and want the best. Having a cohesive message, representing as many people from the community as you can, and asking for realistic things, right? Like Scopely has to win too. This can't just be us, making demands. So I think it's super cool, and collective bargaining works, man. If you have a server of 2,000 Discord, members on Discord, they have to listen to that. Whether or not you get everything you want, that's a different story. But like they're going to pay attention to that, right? So I think it's great. I get a good feeling from, I've spoken a little bit to the leadership of this, at least, one of the co-founders, co-leaders, whatever you want to call them. And I think their heart's in the right place. And I think this is great. And I think that if people are interested in this and you want to see the game move in a better direction, then what's the harm in joining the Discord and getting involved in that conversation and voting on things? I think it's great. So it's super cool to see. People love this game, man. They want this, they want it to stick around for a long time. And we want Scopely to make money so the game stays around. And we want to feel like we're treated with respect as a player base. And I don't see there's anything wrong with that. So I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. And I think this, like you said, this is a lot more organized than some of these movements have been in the past. And I think there's a lot more players involved. The leadership has not just said, let's keep it to ourselves. They want the entire Marvel Strike Force community involved. Not just Alliance leaders, not just Alliance captains, but all alliances involved. And I think this is more of a long-term thing. From some of the communications that I've seen, it's not like, all right, they've given us they've reworked Apocalypse, we're good. No, this is a long-term thing. We want, or the movement, they want players, all of us, all players in Marvel Strike Force want this to be a good game that sticks around, that isn't as predatory that it's probably been in the past 6 months or so. But getting more fun, less grind, and so all this stuff I think is good. Pushing for all that stuff, and I'm going to leave a link to this Reddit post down in the comments, in the description. Also, the link to this the Discord server, if you want to join, that is going to be on the bottom of this Reddit post as well. So I wish and want to do anything to support this as possible, because at the end of the day, all of us, players, content creators, everything, want this to be a good game to play. All right, moving on. All right, so third huge thing this week is this blog post, a 2023 blog post. Now, we were hoping for this for a while. It came on April 3rd. A lot of big things in here, and let's just go one by one. The first big thing announced here is the new legendary event featuring Nova. His new team is going to be the Nowhere team. And the good thing here is it's not like some of the previous legendary events that we had before Scourge. It's going to return these Scourge type events for this legendary character, but it's not going to be culminating into one big apocalypse, which I think was the big misstep for this last time. What do you think of just hearing that? It's going to be a Scourge type event. Nova is coming. Is this a character that you're really a big fan of? What do you think of this overall?
I think this is super cool. So first and foremost, I'm excited for Nova. I don't know much about Nova, but some of my favorite characters in MSF are characters that I wasn't exposed to in the past, right? I've learned so much more about Marvel characters just by playing the game. I know people love Nova, and I'm excited to, it spurs me on to maybe learn more about the character, and I'm excited to see what they do, what the animations look like, because it's all new to me. It's awesome. And I really like the Scourge events, man, with the exception of MLF. If you were pushing hard on MLF Scourge event, that was an absolute RNG nightmare. That was awful. But I think they got progressively better. So I'm optimistic about this.
They learned.
Yeah,
they learned.
RNG, there's always going to be a little bit RNG, but that was not fun. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I've enjoyed the Scourge events, and as a I joke that I'm a free to play adjacent player, right? But essentially free to play. I don't buy the characters offers or anything like that. The Scourge events were the most generous method to me as a veteran player who is willing to put like the effort in and be a total sweat lord with these events to try to get high rankings. I actually enjoy it. I have fun pushing it. And they're the most generous unlocks that we've had, as far as I'm concerned, getting the most amount of people legendary. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I like Scourges. I have a good time with them. I like friendly competition with other content creators. Hey, who's going to have the higher score? It's fun, man. I like it, so I'm looking forward to it. I am excited for this.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's one of the better things that they've done. Instead of just making the unlock based on how many stars you could get on a character, you actually can build these characters, put some power into them, and use some strategy and mix and match what Scourge you're going to apply, what Scourge. There's so many good things about this. More agency and less cookie cutter like we had with the Apocalypse build and everything is great for the game. Now, one thing that they mentioned is a second character after Red Hulk to have a new battlefield effect. Now, the Red Hulk battlefield effect is one of the strongest things in the game. You know, you could be losing the battle, Red Hulk does his battlefield effects, and you win it. How strong do you think Nova is going to be, and how strong do you think his battlefield effect is going to be? Is it going to have that tide turning effect, or is that limited to just Red Hulk because he is a horseman?
I don't know. That's a tough call. I don't know much about Nova. Like, I don't know if this would be some sort of regenerative thing. Like, I don't, he's like looking at the picture of him again without knowing anything. He looks like someone that blasts laser beams out of his hands at people. I mean, that's what he looks like to me. He looks, so I don't know. I guess maybe damaging. It's hard to imagine topping Red Hulk because it's so devastating.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
it has to be based on damage. It can't be like, oh, we're going to heal our team or we're going to give them a lot of extra. It has to be based on damage and killing the other team.
Yeah, so I don't really know. Maybe it's something, I have no idea, literally no idea, but maybe it's something where like it enhances negative effects already on the other team. Like it doesn't like extend them, but it like increases bleed damage by a flat % or makes certain negative effects worse than they already are. I don't even know what that, I have no idea. I'm super excited. I don't know how you top Red Hulk. Like, how strong is this guy going to be?
Though, right?
I think they're going to. How strong is he going to be, though? I mean, like, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Overpowered. Hey, are you thinking of taking this character into Dark Dimension 6?
The
legendary non-horseman character? I think he's going to dominate that mode.
100%. Yeah, new legendary with a battlefield effect, non-horseman. Oh, this guy's coming, man. I'm going hard on the Scourge, and this guy's coming along for the ride.
All right, so they said Masters of Evil you could use to unlock this character. Now, if you don't have Masters of Evil, you could use X Factor. How big of a thing do you think X-23 is going to be in this unlock? And Quicksilver. Quicksilver is going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, so X Factor, so assuming everything follows kind of the path of the old Scourges, right? These are basically your Node 5 and Node 10 teams, right? Like, that's kind of the way this reads to me. My guess is that Masters of Evil and probably Quicksilver are going to be the bread and butter for getting through Nodes 5 and Nodes 10.
Who do you take out of Masters of Evil? Sticky? Do you take out Absorbing Man?
I'm a terrible character. I'm the worst, bro.
Take yourself out, put it in Quicksilver, and mix it back.
As always, nobody do anything preemptively. Wait till we know what the nodes are. Let Dorky Dad waste his resources on this to test it for you, or whatever. You know what I mean? He's a
Hopefully
madman.
they have a test server that we don't have to waste our real resources. We can waste the test resources and then figure it out for players.
Yeah, but that information will let you know who's the most replaceable. But yeah, Masters of Evil and Quicksilver, I would imagine, are the bread and butter for this. X Factor strikes me as the team that Krakens and like heavy spender whales and people that already have massive investment into X Factor for whatever reason are going to use to push insane scores, right? That's going to be the
sacrifice team. They're going to be the Ravagers or something.
Yes, but imagine if you go in and X Factor is just strong enough to kill a key character on Node 10, maybe an Emma or someone that's about to trigger.
Yeah, that's true. X-23 is still pretty good.
You get well, she's not X Factor. This would be X Factor would be Longshot, Shatterstar.
Dad, bro. This whole time I thought it was X-Force. Yeah, you're right.
Oh no, not X-Force.
I was asking about it. Okay, yeah.
X-Force would be really terrible.
That's even better. Dad Bros are pretty good.
All right.
Polaris is pretty good.
Yeah.
Multiple. Okay.
Yeah,
better team. This is much better.
I can't recommend enough though. So yeah, it could be that X Factor's there to let you kill a key character fast, and then you clean it up with MOE, and that helps the Krakens push extreme scores for the top 50 or whatever. I can't recommend enough though for the average Joe like me. Just wait. Don't upgrade X Factor in anticipation of using them. Just wait. Maybe they get a buff. I don't expect that.
Upgrade your Quicksilver. Those are who to upgrade. When you get Quicksilver unlocked.
Yeah.
But Kang is like a plug and play.
Kang and Quicksilver are easy recommendations. Do that anyway. Do that. You're going to want those guys as strong as you can get them anyway. Go nuts on those. And then just hold off on everything else. Let's see how it plays out.
All right. So you're not upgrading Sticky right now.
Oh no, man. I'm a bad character. I'm no good.
God, I looked at the kid. I was like, "This is gonna be a good character," and then he came on like,
"This is not as good as I thought." Hit like a wet noodle, man. Terrible.
All right, the last question on Nova before we move on. Scourges. They've unlocked some of these characters at 3 stars. Previous legendary events has been 5 stars. What is your prediction for Nova? 3-star unlock, 5-star unlock, or something different?
So are you saying like at what star level we're gonna be able to unlock him at?
Yes.
I mean, if it's anything like the previous Scourges, listen.
3? I'm hoping it's 3.
Oh, you mean the initial unlock. Sorry, I was thinking like how high can you get them? Oh, probably 3. Yeah, 3 for initial unlock.
That'd be good. More players getting Nova. That'd be awesome.
That would be my guess. Hopefully.
I hope they do it like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. Dark Dimension 6 was announced, and this is, I think, better than the Apocalypse Saga, giving us cookie cutter teams. We now have agency back. We can pick our teams. We can pick if we want to use good characters or bad characters. And the big reward, the big bad, is Super-Skrull. So before we move on to the rest of Dark Dimension 6, is Super-Skrull worthy of being a big bad like Dormammu, Ultron, Doctor Doom? Is Super-Skrull strong enough to fit that character?
So, again, I don't follow the Marvel lore too closely. I read the comics and stuff when I was a kid, and, I watch all the movies and play MSF, obviously. But so I'm not super familiar with the lore of Super-Skrull. I'm guessing from the picture here that he just mimics, like, other people's abilities in Fantastic Four, which is cool. He looks interesting. But, like, is that really stronger than, like, the Lord of the Shadow Dimension Dormammu? I don't know. I mean, that seems like a hard feat.
I mean, if he has all of the Fantastic Four's character, that's like a whole team into one character.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Listen, I'm excited. I think he looks cool. And like I said before, like I'm glad they're introducing me to a character that I don't know. So I'm excited to use him. I'm not disappointed or anything. But yeah, how do you top like a Dormammu or, I don't know.
They're going to have to. How plug and play is it going to be? Because Ultron made a huge difference. Yeah. Doom made a huge difference. Dormammu was making a huge difference. Still, all those characters are very relevant. Now, some of them on release were not good. They had to get it reworked. But how plug and play do you think he'll be? Maybe not on release because they have a history of releasing characters a little weak and then getting them to stuff. When he's in his final form, how plug and play do you think this Super-Skrull is going to be?
If they're following the same trend as they have, this character is going to have value for years to come. I mean, how long have we had Doom, right? And, he's still critical in a lot of matchups. In Cosmic Crucible, he's an amazing plug and play character. The great characters in this game have kits that enable their team to do more, right? Yes. Doom lets the highest damage take a bunch of extra turns all in succession. Dormammu's making sure that you basically you have to kill the team twice. Apocalypse enables, he's not a Dark Dimension character, but he enables counters that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise have access to because he's dropping Safeguard. And they can't get Safeguard on spawn. So Super-Skrull, if he's anything like these characters, which I imagine he's going to be, he's going to have some sort of effect that even when it gets to the point where maybe his stats are lagging a little bit behind, like say a Doom, he's still going to have some aspect of that kit that, 2-3 years from now, you're going to be thinking to yourself, hey, maybe I should put Super-Skrull in here. Maybe that's what I need to get through this. So I think he's going to have long-term value.
I think so too. And he should, because the big reward like this, Dark Dimension, I think these characters should be in the meta for a long time. Ultron, Doom, Dormammu, Apocalypse. I think all of them will be relevant for a while. And Ultron, by the way, he's so good that they still haven't upped his base stats because his kit is so good from all those years ago. All right. Let's talk about Dark Dimension itself, though. Is it too soon to start picking these characters? I know you said it was too soon to start picking characters for Quicksilver or the Nova release, but is this too soon to start picking characters for Dark Dimension?
I'm not. Dude, gear tier 18. Like I don't have all
Nobody
my
has that yet. Nobody has that
I don't
yet.
have my horseman at 17. Like this is so far off in the distance for me. Like who knows what characters are even going to be released at that time to fill in some of these things. You know what I mean? So I'm excited they told us about it. It's nice to know it's coming. It's on the horizon. I have a general sense of what's going to be required. But absolutely not. No way am I picking characters. Besides, like the obvious stuff, like you're gonna want your horsemen to be as strong as they can for legendary and apocalypse. That's a no-brainer. But
here's the thing: the order of these missions has not been finalized. Once it gets finalized, are you gonna build it in order? So build your city first, then let's say this is the final order. When it's released, are you gonna build it in the order that you're gonna do these nodes in? Or are you just gonna build the characters up and take them in when they're ready?
I will probably. I would say for me, it depends a little bit on what the individual node rewards are. Because in Dark Dimension, don't you get? It's been a while, but don't you get some rewards from an individual node completion?
Good rewards. I think that the big thing is that character at the end, though. But you're getting things on each reward, each node.
So if the individual nodes themselves reward me with stuff I'm interested in, like let's say Blue ISO 5 or an orb that maybe has a chance of some gear team pieces or whatever, then I'm going to be way more encouraged to do this in the order that they set out, right? One at a time. Okay. City, then I know this isn't finalized, but city, then global, then cosmic. Then I'll do it. Then I would be more interested in doing that. If that's not the case and that's not enticing, then it's kind of, it's almost like, well, I'd rather invest in characters that I know I'm going to bring into DD6 eventually, but are giving me value now, like the horseman characters, like a Red Hulk, like an Apocalypse. Even if that's the last section, like those are going to give me the most upfront value now while I'm still waiting to build up the rest of the characters that I need to bring in there. So the node rewards would have to be pretty good for me. So I'll reserve, my opinion on that till I see those. But
yeah, I guess it's kind of like the Nova thing. We need more information to start investing this. Now, we have 5 sections listed here: the non-legendary city, non-legendary global, non-legendary cosmic, a non-horseman legendary, and a legendary and or apocalypse. Normally, there's a section that has no requirements. Do you think they're just not mentioning it here because it's obvious, because every other Dark Dimension has that? Or there's not one? Are there just these 5 sections?
I did not even consider that until you just brought that up. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, we'll see.
Maybe it would be cool if there was no requirement, because you could just throw a hodgepodge team together of the other characters you're bringing for the other sections anyway.
Yeah, that way you just get in like the previous Dark Dimensions.
Yeah, I would prefer if they did that, but remains to be seen. Who knows? We'll see what Savvy wants to do with it.
My guess is yes, 6 sections coming, but. Yeah. And hopefully I'm right on that one. All right, gear tier 18 is coming. We've talked a bit about that, and the way to get all that stuff is in these new Incursion Raids. Now, these new Incursion Raids, they look very, very difficult. Where's the picture? Here's the picture of it. Look at this chart here. How many? This looks like 1, 2, 3 sections of that we're gonna have to go through, and there's the 3 lanes. That's what it's looking like to you?
I don't know why they can't just give us like some straight lines, man. Like, why do I need a protractor and a compass and a map?
Because then your lines leaders would have nothing to do. They need to like raid lanes and everything. Yeah. If it was simple like that, then they wouldn't have to make as many charts and all that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how it's looking to me. It looks like 3 lanes on either side. Yeah, I mean, that's how it looks to me. I don't know why this is so confusing, but yeah.
No, well, now what they've said about these Incursion Raids, it's going to have a base difficulty easier than Doom 3.3, but a higher difficulty is present a new challenge because there's some new characters there. And they say the challenges you encounter in these Incursion Raids will be crafted with the new characters in mind. So with it being as difficult as about Doom 3.3, but new characters and crafted with the new characters in mind, how much more difficult than these Incursion Raids do you think these, or how much more difficult do you think these Incursion Raids will be over these Doom Raids?
I do think they're going to be more difficult for sure. But something to keep in mind too is they can craft. It's raw difficulty and raw team power is one thing. I do expect these to be much higher, much more difficult, bigger teams, hit harder, more health at the higher levels of this. But they can also craft these nodes exactly how they want them. So you can shut down current counters, current raids teams to encourage purchasing and building up of new raid teams simply by just changing the characters on the node. You could build it to totally counter a specific team, and now they're like, well, you got to bring this in, you got to bring the new team in. So I think it's going to be a combination of just raw node power, the characters that you're fighting, number one, as well as them handcrafting these nodes to encourage you to bring in the new teams, because otherwise it's going to be a headache. They're going to have the exact characters that counter the stuff that the old raid team was relying on to get through stuff. So I expect it to be more difficult for sure, but I expect all of it to encourage purchase and building of the new teams.
So do you think this is a little misleading? The basic will be easier than Doom 3.3, but it's going to be a lot more difficult than that because there's newer characters that are designed to counter the current teams that players are using in Doom 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little use of clever wordplay where they're like, technically, from a pure numbers perspective, it's on par with this. But the reality is, like, the old solution just isn't going to work. I think that's probably likely. I think that's probably clever wordplay on their part.
I think so as well. Yep. Now, with these new Incursion Raids, we're getting these new showcase events, which we have one running for Captain America World War II right now. Epic events, which we have a countdown in the game right now for this. What do you think of these new things? It seems like it's just giving us more resources, more shards. Is there any negative to this? It just seems like more stuff to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. It does just sort of seem like new stuff. I don't buy the new characters anyway. It seems like it's rewarding people that buy the characters and want to get in early, and that unlocks additional nodes and stuff they can do. And that's fine. People that spend have always had access to like stuff that I don't have access to. That's no change here. And I still get to like farm node 2 of the Captain America World War II nodes and get some free training materials. So like, I'll take that, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of just free stuff to me.
Yeah, the Captain America World War II was interesting because whether you purchase the character or not, the shards you get for Captain America World War II on the easy and the harder difficulties seem the same. Now, the other rewards are better if you did purchase Captain America, but the shards you're getting for free for this character is good. So I like these showcase and epic events as we've seen now. I was hoping they would do that for every single character. And that might entice me to buy these characters a little more. Like, oh, I'm not just getting these 180 shards or whatever for Union Jack. I'm getting 180 plus everything that I get in this event that I wouldn't be able to do after that. So we'll see how this ends. It may just be one character that they're doing per month with this because they didn't do anything with Union Jack, and I don't see anything with Bucky coming up as well. They also say that there's more teams coming in 2023 designed to use on these future Incursion Raids. And you'll know which characters they are. They have their own showcase events and epic events. So it seems like what I'm reading here is as these new teams are introduced, we're going to get these showcase events to introduce them and get more stuff. That sounds good to me. Am I overreacting to this? Is there something I'm missing here with this one?
No, I mean, I think that's kind of my take on it as well. We'll get more of these incursion, the whatever they call it, the trial events to try out the characters and everything for teams that are designed for the incursion raid. So I think we're going to keep seeing this pop back up.
I think that's good. I like these. Now, there's more teams coming later. I think the most obvious candidate is the Bionic Avengers. How long do you think before they get replaced? And Mystic, we have a lot of great characters. We don't have a specific team for Mystic. So a couple questions. How long do the Bionic Avengers gets replaced? And is Mystic going to be so hard that we need a new Mystic team at this point? Because there's a lot of great Mystic characters that pair well with each other in the game right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine how tough they would have to make the Mystic section to like overpower the teams that we currently have, dude. Because they're so good, right? Eternals, even New Warriors, Dormammu, Spider Weaver, they're fantastic.
Eternals, MILF, Deathpool, and there's some common Doom is in there.
So you better believe, man, that one of these sections is going to be a nightmare until we're ready to move on to the next thing. Just like the skill section was.
Bionic Avengers are gonna die whenever Incursion Raids comes out. Is what I'm seeing with this.
I hate Bionic Avengers. I would like to go on record as saying that Bionic Avengers, I despise using them in raids, man.
Wait, can you full sim with Bionic Avengers?
Occasionally. I mean, I got like a 1 million plus.
Occasionally, they're awesome.
Occasionally, yeah. But even when I play them out, man, it's like any team that you can lose a member on the team before your team even takes a turn on a node is like, that's not good. That's not good. There's nothing you can do about it. They'll just RNG someone out, and you're like, great, 4v5. I guess I'll restart the match.
After Invaders, after Rebirth, next replaces Tech. Alliance War. We got some changes here, and I think the big change here, we finally have a Teal War orb coming. That was announced in the late 2022 blog post. That is not here yet, but it looks like they're announcing it again. Is this coming in this year, or is this 2024? The Teal War orb is coming, because I think this is the second time they've announced this.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is ever coming. I mean, I don't know what the holdup would be on this, because let's be real, it's Gear Tier 16 mini uniques. Like, this is not, if you were expecting, all right, if you're watching this, if you were
17, Scopely, why are you waiting so long on this?
If we knew this was happening, though, let's be real. Like, I agree with you. Why wait so long for Gear Tier 16? If you were someone that was like, I'm hoarding all of this because opening these Teal War Orbs is going to solve all of my Teal issues, I'm sorry, you were living in a fantasy land. We'll be lucky if the regular uniques are even in this thing. Like, we have so much stuff hoarded up. This is probably just the mini uniques, maybe some catalysts. Like, that would be cool. I would take that as a total win if we just got catalysts.
It says this Gear 16 mini unique. So is there going to be 2 pillars or 3 on this Teal War Orb?
I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be disappointing. Listen, I'm going to open them up because what's the alternative, right?
What else are we spending it on? Exactly.
Yeah, I wait another 3 years for a disappointing orb. Like, I'll just open them, I guess. But like, yeah, this is fine. It's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Like, sure.
So it looks like they're opening up the things on the T2. Man, I get so confused in this. The Isoate Blue Ion T2, L4 and L5 ions to help players upgrade Apocalypse. So they're finally loosening the purse strings on this. And we have a limited time Nowhere Siege event. Doesn't say how long it's going to last, but it's a limited time thing. So with this limited time things in war, we have cosmic villains replacing military and existing room bonuses. And we have Black Order, Thanos receiving buffs on defense as well. Is it worth building up some of your cosmic villains or your Black Order just for this limited time event? Or would you wait to see if this is permanent before doing some of these?
There is a 0% chance that I build up temporary teams if there is even a whiff that this might not be a permanent thing. And honestly, this reads to me like it's going to be some seasonal thing. Like, I am not going to build up a bad, like, I love Cosmic Crucible way more than I love War. I'm not going to build up a bad team for Cosmic Crucible just because they arbitrarily threw them a buff for a season. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, they better have value beyond that, because I don't have enough resources to just build up every random buff they give to a team. So this does not influence me at all to build up these characters. It seems like a seasonal thing to me. If you're a Kraken or a Whale, you already have a giant, crazy build up characters and a Black Order or whatever. Like, that's cool. Maybe this has some value too. You can throw them on defense or whatever and get some value out of that. But 0% chance am I investing in seasonal, teams with an expiration date in like War. I just can't do it.
Makes sense. Now, what they say is limited time event with temporary configuration. We test and optimize different rules and mechanics. Do you think this is going to be a permanent thing coming? More war events like this testing until they find what they really want?
I think that's likely. Here's the thing, like war teams, when you consider like shelf life, I think Redman brought this up the other day, and I agree with this point. When you consider shelf life of teams, War has probably been the most generous, right? Like a lot of war teams, we've had as war teams for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, so if you care about War, they do tend to last for a while. Raid teams, they have value for a while,
6
but
months.
like 6 months,
or
a
so,
year.
yeah.
Web Warriors were replaced within a year. You know what I mean? They seem to have very short shelf life. And then with the seasonal stuff with Crucible, like that seems to be extremely short, unless you get lucky and they buff that team in the following season. but I think they probably want to encourage reducing the lifespan of these war teams to get you to, pivot and invest in other teams and keep you on your toes and maybe buy new teams to take advantage of the current buff. I think that's probably what this is.
Okay, that makes sense. If we have one team that does it all, then we don't have to invest in new teams. And it seems like they're making teams a lot more limited to certain game modes and characters a lot more limited to being on that team, which I'm not sure if I like. But there are some other changes here that looks good. Defeating an opponent's armory and hangar will affect the stats of your attacking characters instead of your opponents, and players receive all 10 energy at the start of war, no longer getting energy over time. So if you want to log in, do all of your attacks at once, you can, instead of having to log in multiple times. How big of a difference is this going to be for you, and how big of a difference do you make for war overall, in your opinion?
For me, it's nice, but it's not like a world-changing thing. Like, I'm in a competitive alliance, but we're not like top-end, absolutely insane, setting timers to wake up in the middle of the night kind of thing. But it's cool. I like being able to do stuff in my own time. I like that. I think this is probably going to help keep, the super top-end players, help them maintain their sanity a little bit and be able to get rid of the stuff, get done their attacks right off the bat. So that's super cool. It begs the question, though, what are the war zones for? Like, why do we even have zones if it doesn't, you can just do your attacks whenever you want? It's kind of my question.
Maybe get rid of them, and that'll open up some more matchmaking. I know one of the reasons matchmaking's been bad is because we have to match, or the scope has to match alliances that are in the same time zones. And sometimes there's not an alliance close to you with a ELO close to you. So if we have everybody in one bracket, this could be good. I'd like these changes here. And as far as you said, it's going to help some of the more hardcore alliances. Do you think this is going to bring the fun of war back for more casual alliances? I've been war casual for almost 2 years right now, and it's been very fun doing it that way. Do you think that's going to make a lot of these casual alliances come back and go a lot more hardcore, or is it more about these rewards that are increasing, or just some of these other new mechanics that we're going to talk about?
My guess is, honestly, I think whatever someone's current take on war is and their current engagement level with war, I don't see this affecting people too much, to be honest. Like, if you don't already love war and you're not excited about doing it, like, the new rewards are cool and all, but let's be honest, everything's relative, and you're competing against other alliances for the rewards. Like, the people that are going to go hard are still going to go hard. They might even go harder. So for me, I'm just going to keep playing Alliance War the way that I've always done it. When we have an on war, I'm going to do the best I can. If we have an off war, I'm going to do the minimum attacks, whatever's asked of me. That doesn't really change anything for me. I think it's going to be kind of the same, to be honest.
So it looks like they're moving from more of a time-based to more of efficiency-based, giving you all the energy at once, not having your armory and hangar affect your opponents. So racing to that doesn't matter as much. And you're getting attempt bonuses for clearing a room with the fewest attempts possible. In a case of a tie, there's going to be a new full clear bonus. And each time you attack a room, there's going to be a new exhausted that goes onto defensive squads, which makes it weaker. So your second attack is going to be easier than the first. Your third attack is going to be easier than your second, and so on and so on. How big of a difference do you think all these things in conjunction is going to make? With these new bonuses, making it more efficiency based. Do you think that they will bring everything to one time zone? Do you think this is gonna help people not be as burnt out with war?
Yeah, I think the biggest win out of all of this, at least for me, is the fact that during war, I have to treat the game less like a job because I can do it whenever it's convenient for me, as opposed to having set times. Like, that for me is huge. That's the biggest win for this. Bonus resources are nice, cool, but that's the biggest win for me, is that I get my time back and I can do this when it's convenient for me. But I like the other stuff too. Like, I appreciate that it's more focused towards efficiency. I think that's super cool. I like the idea, at least we'll see the execution of it, of the exhausted mechanic, where follow-up attacks, it's not ideal because you're losing your attempt bonus and stuff like that, but they do get more easier, more susceptible to your attacks. So there's less of these like, crazy APOC holds and
the heroes for
gammas
hire
and
back in the day that
heroes
never
for hire.
died.
Yeah. Because it's not fun getting brick walled by a defensive team, right? It's not.
No.
So like you roll the dice like, hey, do we go for the one shot? Do we throw together a super team, or do we multi-tap it and know it's going to be less strong on the second attempt or the third attempt? So I think this all seems, at least on the surface level to me, net positive. Best thing though, being able to do attacks when I have the time.
I like all this stuff, and I like what they say here. They're focusing on seeing how the players will react. They're testing these, and hopefully reception is good. And a lot of these changes stay because I like it based more on efficiency and not have to do everything at a certain time based on that. So, all right, we also got Cosmic Crucible Tournament coming. Now, this is gonna be for 1 week only. It's going to be before season 3 begins, so season 2 rules probably still in effect, right?
Maybe. I hope they mix it up. I hope they throw some weird test. I hope they use this as an opportunity to test some crazy different room buffs. You might be totally right, but I am hopeful that they throw in some bizarre stuff, or maybe like amalgamation of all the room buffs we've had in the past, and it's randomized or something. I'm hopeful. I don't totally expect that, but
I guess the thing is, what is a new team they're trying to sell? What are the bonuses they have to equip on the teams for us to buy the most teams? That's probably what the bonus is going to be, right? Not necessarily
true.
what's in season 2.
That's true. On the bright side, maybe they let us have this one because it's only a 1 week thing, right? No sane person is investing into for a 1 week tournament.
Hey, but there are a lot of insane Marvel Strike Force players though.
Yeah. I can't wait for this, man. I think it's gonna be great.
All right, so 5 rounds instead of 3. One of the most fun things I have is streaming the battles of Cosmic Crucible. 2 more days of content. This is awesome,
dude. Absolutely. I would, if I could stream Cosmic Crucible every single day, I would. Pathfinder and I were talking about this, and he was like, it would be cool. I hope they keep this around and they let people opt in. If you want to stay in the 3-day Cosmic Crucible tournament, 3-round, go for it. You can be grouped in that. But if you really love Cosmic Crucible and you want to be involved in the 5-person bigger tournaments, you can opt into those, and those are what you get matched into, right? I would love that because I love Cosmic Crucible. They can have one of my wars. Take a war away. I don't even want it. You guys can have that back. Give me a longer Cosmic Crucible.
Take Blitz away totally. Just remove it from the game. Never bring back Blitz events ever.
We can dream, right? But I love this. Yeah.
Now let me read this because it gives some insight to what is happening here or in the future. 32-person tournament will be an extremely limited time event that you don't want to miss. We'll be very interested to hear player feedback after the tournament to help influence the future of the 32-person tournament and other possible variations. So it looks like kind of like War. This is a test. They're going to see what the player feedback is. At least that is my interpretation. Are you looking at this in a different way?
No,
that they're listening to the community. I like this.
Yeah, this is cool. Hopefully they take the feedback to heart and they make it, if they choose to keep this around, they make it the best game mode that it can be. I'm being very optimistic in that statement, but I hope that's what happens because I love Cosmic Crucible and I want to do more of it, and I want it to be fun, and it's super exciting, man. I have a blast. I know you do too, streaming it. It's awesome, and I want to see more of it. I want to do it more, and this seems like an exciting kind of twist on it. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully the rules and how they implement it is good, because I do like Cosmic Crucible and I would like to see them make even more changes for the better. All right. Big topic here, Purple. Quality of life improvement. Some good ones. We actually got one in the game that was unannounced as well. We're going to talk about, but let's talk about this. Equipping multiple gear leveled at once via popular player request, and you can now instantly zip through all those gear to equip with one tap. How much time is it going to save you per character?
Listen,
3 or 4 minutes.
I mean, this is
myself.
This is cool. This is cool. When you get a new character and you level them up and you sit there and you're just popping the thing over and over and waiting for the animation to go. Not a game changer for me, but it is a nice, simple quality of life improvement win. I'll take it. I like it.
I think this is going to help newer and mid-game players a lot more than it will the longer time players, because it's one character every 2 weeks that I'm having to do this for, whereas newer players have to do this more often. Raid auto launcher. This is great for your alliance leaders, alliance captains. You don't have to worry about timing. You don't have to be on a reset anymore. It'll launch automatically. It'll also come for a trial of change to raid keys. My goodness, how outdated is those raid keys collected in Alliance without the need for members to individually claim this? This is probably the biggest thing in these quality of life changes that I've seen. Actually, there's another one, but this is a very big one. What do you think of this raid auto launcher? Are you Alliance leader captain? Is this going to help your time and sanity logging in? Raids?
I am not, and I would never want that thankless job. But shout out to all the Alliance leaders and captains out there that are doing that for us. I'm not, but it's my opinion on this. Great, and it's about time. It's about time we got this.
All right, let me put these into one thing. More sim. They're expanding a sim feature for raid beyond the raids, other game modes as well. An autocomplete function for repeating events. I'm assuming this is like the. We have that for a lot of these. Like, what kind of events would this be? I was thinking Chaos Theory, some of these events, but we already have that. So what do you think would this be for?
Autocomplete function for additional repeating events. I don't know. I mean, maybe it just automatically gives you the highest level in Chaos Theory if you've already maxed it out or something.
That's good. All that is good. Anything saving time is a good thing.
Yeah. Daily challenges. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
All right. This is big. This is going back on one of the quality of life changes that we got that was not helping anybody. The inbox improvements for our mail. Inbox now separated into 2 tabs, which is good. Read and unread messages will merge in 1 tab, which is good. But more importantly, when tapping the claim all button, a pop-up will ask you to confirm the action before actually claiming the items. Now, do you think that this is going to solve the people that don't even press the button and get all their stuff claimed, and we'll also have a pop-up for that? Or it's just if you hit that claim all button?
If this is implemented correctly, honestly, who knows? We'll see what happens. But if this is implemented correctly, if it registers a false or like you didn't hit the claim all, hopefully it's coded so that you always get this message and this is always a stopgap and a safety barrier before it automatically claims it. Who knows? Wouldn't put past Scopely that's not the case. I've gotten hit with the claim all twice, being nowhere near it. Support doesn't care about that at all. They have never even responded to my tickets that I've opened about that. Ugh. So it's nice to have a little bit of a safety feature here. We'll see how they execute it.
All right, clearer communication regarding the minimum requirements of events. I think that came that was a big topic a few weeks ago when this leaderboard went live and people were like, hey, we didn't get this. And then they're like, oh, wait, there's a 60,000 minimum point that you needed for that. That was announced after the fact. This is good that they're announcing all that stuff before the fact. I think that should have been done anyway, but I'm glad that they're saying that they're going to do this now.
Transparency is good.
Yes, more transparent is better. Now, there is another quality of life change that we got, Sticky, that was unannounced, and I think this is an awesome thing. I've been asking for this for a while. Unfortunately, it's not implemented a way that I thought, but you can still claim all of your orbs here. So we're claiming some of these orbs. It goes in, let's start this here, and it claimed them 10 at a time. It's going to be a while, but hey, if I'm not doing anything with my phone, I could open Marvel Strike Force, open some orbs, put my phone aside, and go do something else. This is better than what we've had. This is not what I wanted, but it's better than what we had.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a net positive. All right, let me throw this out there. Conspiracy theory, right? They give us this orb opening, open all orbs function, right? Everyone's opening. They're like, oh, finally I can open these 40,000 Gear 14 and 15 orbs that I have. And then we're golden. We all open our orbs, right? We get those because they've been sitting there because it takes days to open them. And then once we've depleted our stockpile, the orb opening event comes back. Think about it.
Wait, I thought they're not going to have hoarding events anymore, Purple.
Well, that's news to me because everything in this game surrounds hoarding. So. But no, this is great. Save us time, save me clicks. It's cool. Yeah, I like it. Great.
I mean, even if I open 1,000 orbs, I got so many of these orbs from the offer back in the day that it wouldn't make a difference as long as it's any orb or something like that.
Yep.
All right, so that is what that. Now we also got some characters in the game. Let's talk about the stuff that normally goes on in a week. We got Bucky Barnes added to the game. How important is Bucky Barnes to this new Invaders team? I know you don't buy a lot of these offers. What have you heard about Bucky Barnes? What have you heard about how this team is performing right now in the raids, even at low star levels?
I have heard feedback from people that are using the 3-piece of Cap, World War II, Nick Fury, and Bucky Barnes and clearing the skill section. Like, nice. That's what I'm hearing. So, like, that's how good they are. And that's with 3 characters out of the team. So
wait, only 3 in the raids, not even a 4th and a 5th.
They might have brought in some garbage. I don't know, but it was essentially
garbage or like Kestrel Shang-Chi or
no,
like
no,
real
garbage. Like
garbage.
Like this was. I can't remember if you actually need 5 characters to go into the nodes, because I always bring 5 anyway. But yeah, no, it's essentially just those 3 just carrying the whole thing. Not like there's a Kestrel there or anything. Nice. That's not like insane investment. It's like modest investment, power level, and stuff like that. They're getting it done. So yeah, as a raid team, I think they're going to be incredibly impressive.
Now, in addition to new teams, we also got some new events. We got Coordinated Assault, Evil Invasion, Egg Hunt, all going on at the same time. Coordinated Assault is back. Are you going to start to save all of your ISO 8 energy again? And what do you think about this Coordinated Assault being back, having your milestones tied to alliance-wide things instead of your own power core savings?
I never stopped hoarding ISO 8 campaign energy because I just assumed it was only a matter of time. So I keep it like right under the cap, and I'm ready to be flexible if it came back, and it paid off for this. So this hasn't changed anything for me. Just keep in mind, this is just a reminder. Coordinated assault is still on the table, right? So like always be prepared for this if you can help it.
I like the fact that I got to claim all my arena awards as soon as I get them instead of hoarding them. Are you still hoarding yours in preparation for a potential power core savings event or power core earnings event?
Absolutely, dude. They got me so well trained. I'm hoarding everything. I'm hoarding everything. I wait until there's like a day left and I just claim it so I don't accidentally forget or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm still hoarding.
That's probably the smart thing. I don't like seeing my power cores go too low though, so I claim them. But
I don't blame you.
I could be shooting myself in the foot by doing that. All right, Evil Invasion. This one actually seems pretty good. This one's based on raids, opening gold orbs, and yeah, if you saved up a ton of gold orbs, this is a pretty easy event for you to get the milestone event. But I guess the big question is milestone 29 and 30. Very, very grindy, but are you going for these or just going for the meta item here?
I'm maybe a little bit further than you in this. I had my gold orbs saved up. I think I already have milestone 28 if memory serves.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, like I do my stuff, right? Like I open the gold orbs that I had, whatever I get. I probably won't get the whale stones at 29 and 30. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, this has been relatively easy. I had some gold orbs saved up because I knew this was coming up because I pay attention to channels like yours that inform me about what to hoard, right? And the raid battles have been easy. I'm doing raid battles anyway. So yeah, this is just a bonus stuff kind of thing for me. So it's cool.
Now, are you min-maxing this event, going into raid battles, losing them on purpose? Because it says to score here, you have to play raid battles. You don't necessarily need to win them. So are you going in and losing them on purpose to try to not let your energy top off?
No. I'm always we're an active rating alliance. We're doing 100% and 3.5 and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're at the 30% and sometimes 60% in 3.5. So yeah, I don't want my energy to top off.
Yeah. I'm not min-maxing or anything. This seems like as long as you're active, it should be relatively easy to hit the raid things. If you get close and you need to cheese it a little bit by getting a couple more attacks in by backing out, like go for it. But it's kind of business as usual for me at the moment.
Gotcha. And the third event, this is the Egg Hunt event celebrating Eastern US. Now, to get a lot of stuff, you need to spend campaign energy. Spending your 50 core refreshes, spending your 50 core alliance donations should get you pretty close to this extra 30 shards of Captain America World War II and milestone 27. Are you shooting for this? Are you shooting for more? Or are you just doing whatever you're doing normally and getting these additional rewards as they come?
Yeah, I'm doing whatever I do normally. I'm donating, occasionally I'll do the 50 core donation to the Alliance. Some days other people in the Alliance do that to make sure we get all the boxes. Some days I'll contribute to that. It's just kind of a communal effort to make sure we hit it. So I'm doing that. I'm doing my daily 50 core energy refreshes like normal. And any of the mail that I had saved with campaign energy from the web milestone claims or anything like that, I'm banking that in now. And so with all these milestones, I try to min-max everything that I do to the best of my ability without driving myself absolutely insane. So that's what I'm doing here. And whatever I get by doing that, I get. And that's cool. I'll take it.
That's probably the best strategy there. All right. Now, in another limited time event, one-time event that we got this past weekend, you spent 1 core and you got all this stuff. You got some purple sticky shards here, Juggernaut shards, Deadpool shards, and some dark promo credits. Is this a great celebration of April Fools? Or did you like the wall better?
The wall was funny. Don't get me wrong. The wall was funny. But I appreciate, actually getting
resources.
Stuff. So yeah, and there was nothing to this. This was super cool. So yeah, you
did have to know about the offer though. You did have to scroll down to stuff or pay attention to social media that people were posting, hey, buy this stuff.
But yeah, I mean, but like anyone that's kind of semi-dialed in, right? Even paying attention to Alliance chat. Alliances are going to see that. They're going to let their Alliance, hopefully let your Alliance members know if you're like a casual Alliance and they might not watch Twitch or YouTube or whatever. Yeah. So I think most people took advantage of it. So it's super cool. It's a nice thing. Slightly off topic, before I forget, the egg hunt thing.
Yes.
I want compensation for the energy that I spent and didn't get.
I forgot about that.
I want
the first 20 minutes you were getting no eggs. I totally forgot about that.
I forgot about it too. Scopely, I demand compensation.
Notes and I forgot to bring it up.
I demand compensation, Scopely. I spent all my energy thinking it was live.
With this, there's always like the thing that I need on the first day when I don't have any of the resources. It was like that for the lucky one as well. There was like gamma radiation. The first day I had zero, and it never shows up again. So hopefully we get some good stuff for this, and hopefully we get the compensation. We did get some compensation for the last milestone event that was broken. And the Angel's Army. Actually, we haven't gotten the compensation yet. We've got an announcement that we would get compensation. So hopefully we get the announcement that we're getting compensation for this soon. Great celebration of this stuff. The wall. I like that they wrote all this out. They put some work into this. I like all this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
But that is it, Purple. It's great having you in studio again. A lot of stuff to discuss. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here, my friend?
No, man. Thank you so much for having me as always. I'm excited for the future of Marvel Strike Force. I think this newest blog, it's a big one. I think it's mostly exciting stuff. I'm optimistic about it, cautiously optimistic. And yeah, give us more 5-day Cosmic Crucible tournaments. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that this sale of Scopely is a positive thing for the players. We will see.
Fingers crossed.
That's it. All right. Thank you again for watching, everybody. If you're listening to the podcast version of, thank you for listening all the way to the end. Give it a nice review on whatever platform you're listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. YouTube, it helps the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel for more Marvel Strike Force content. Check me out on social media, and I'll see you guys next time. Are you ready for this Hulk fist bump, Purple Sticky?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Right. Hulk fist bump, Purple Sticky, ValleyFlyin out. Have a great one, guys.